quadratic formula, I believe you've all had a lesson on it now up to this point, so I don't think anyone's like completely in the dark about it. I don't know about other teachers, although I do think we agreed that we are not gonna make you memorize the quadratic formula. Ask your own math teacher if that's the case. In college, I know you'll definitely have to memorize it. I don't know about upper level math, they might make you memorize it, but at 9th grade, you don't. Okay, listen. When can I solve something with quadratic formula? Like, how do I know it's in the right form? If it's all in quadratic. Okay, set equal to 0, what would be on the other side?
The A, B, and C.
There's more than just A, B, and C.
Oh, 8 squared. And X.
Okay, even if you're working, I need you to be quiet right now, okay? Unless you're answering my question. So you can solve using quadratic formula if it looks like this. If it doesn't look like this, you can make it look like this by setting it equal to 0. So like if it's equal to 4, then subtract 4 on each side. If it's equal to negative 2x, then add 2x to both sides. Like whatever it is, rearrange it to this and set it equal to 0. For this problem, this is from the notes, but we really didn't have time for it. This is like one of your constructed response test questions, where it says, write an equation that can be solved to find when the potato is 40 feet off the ground. So the given equation was this. I just had to scroll down. Let me put it back. Okay, so that equation was given to you. All right, this was given in the problem, and it wants to know for when the potato's 40 feet off the ground. You would have to know where to plug that in. So what are the two variables in this? Everyone look up here. I know some of you are actually working, but look up here. That's the question. What is H representing? Okay, H is for height. What is T representing? No. Time, height and time. We want to know when, like at what time, the potato hit the ground. So the T's are unknown. The height, it wants to know, actually not when it hits the ground for this one, when it reaches 40 feet. So I need to replace this whole piece, not just the T, with a 40. So if we want to know when the height is 40, T is what we're solving for, the time. So if it looks like this and I want to solve by quadratic formula, I do think that would be the easiest way. I have to make sure it's in standard form set equal to 0. How do I make that 40 become 0? Subtract 40, whatever you go on one side of the equal sign, and line it up with its like term. Constant that I have to subtract to make it 0, then I subtract it from the constant. If it's an x squared term, then I need to subtract it from the x squared term, or whatever. So then my new standard form ends up being this. And 64 minus 40 is 24. That makes my A what? Table 9, can you tell me what my A would be from this equation? Good. Table 1, can you tell me what my B would be? Good. And table 5, can you tell me what my C would be? Good. Key thing here, if it's negative, make sure you have a negative. Usually we don't write the positive if it's positive, but negative, make sure you write it. And then you're plugging it into quadratic formula, which I have on the screen there, and I'll leave it on the screen there. But you get x equals negative b, so negative 80, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2x. Because, and first of all, I wouldn't combine anything in that step. You might know 2 times negative 16 is negative 32, but I would wait till the next step to start simplifying. And also, since we're talking about a real world situation, is it okay for time to be a decimal? Or is it about this? Put your hand up. So listen to what I'm saying. Since we're talking about a real world situation, is it okay for time to be a decimal? No. Yeah. In fact, if we're talking about like a potatoes 40 feet in the air, it's probably like a fraction of a second and not like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. So because of that, then I'd probably put this whole thing into Desmos. And here's how I would do it. My numerator, in order for Desmos to read it right, I'd probably have to put that in parentheses, or just when you go into Desmos, put the fraction bar right away like that. Otherwise, put it in parentheses. Make it look exactly how it looks on your paper. But the plus or minus may or may not go in there yet, so I'll start with the plus first. Okay, and then there. Okay, slash to make it all over 2 times a. Okay, so you see how that is like exactly what is on my paper? See that? I even put the parentheses and everything. If you don't put the parentheses, it will mark it wrong, or will be the wrong answer. So there's that. This answer for my time, does it make sense to have a negative 0.3 for the time? So we want to know when the potato's 40 feet in the air. Okay, so then usually there's 2 solutions for quadratic equations. I'm gonna now do the minus of my plus or minus, so I'm gonna change this plus sign right here to a minus sign. Now, does that answer make a bit more sense? So it was 40 feet in the air at about 5.28 seconds. Any questions on that? All right, so that's the only example I wanted to do, because that's covered on your test, so we're gonna expect it to finish the notes. I do think you've all had a lesson on quadratic formula at some point, so you know, just help. Any questions right now? Okay, Jaya, what do you?